Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Oliver, I want to thank you for being here and recognize your expertise in so many different groups and organizations that supported you being appointed to this position and the high level of professionalism you bring to it. As we're discussing the right well, I am from Georgia, and of course this is the official marine mammal of Georgia. And the right well has calving grounds, and the water is off the coast of our state. And of course, these are beautiful mammals and draw a great deal of tourism. People go into Jekyll Island, Tybee Island, and the likes, go out looking for dolphins and whatever, but all the while keeping their fingers crossed that perhaps they'll have an opportunity to see a right well along the way. Why is it that the right well is only off the coast of Georgia for certain months, as I understand it, between November and April?
I have to admit, sir, among my expertises is I'm not a cetacean expert, and I don't, and that is their typical migration pattern. As far as I know, it's been their pattern for hundreds, if not thousands of years. I don't know exactly why they're there at that time of year, but they seem to be there pretty much every year. I'd be happy to.
Right, because well, you said it, it's a migratory pattern. That's what they do. They come there and they leave. And it's something they've been doing for hundreds or thousands or ever how long, a number of years. It's the pattern, is what they do. And so when there is a migratory animal such as this, that means that they are there certain times of the year and they're not there certain times of the year as a general rule. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So would this have part of the explanation why NOAA Fisheries issued an incidental harassment authorization to the company Deepwater Wind to survey off the coast of Rhode Island in order to build Block Island Wind Farm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the reason, just to be sure, is because it would be an incidental harassment, which means what? Can you explain what an incidental harassment authorization is?
What it essentially means is you can intentionally harass, but you can incidentally to the activity being proposed, incidentally interact, harass, in this case, the acoustic signals from the air guns. If we find, again, that it has an overall negligible impact on the species and we impose appropriate mitigation, monitoring, and enforcement standards to minimize that interaction.
Right, so you're minimizing the potential problems because in this case you have a migratory mammal that's, and so you try to exercise those sounds more than likely when they're not present, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. So let me kind of land where I'm going here. As I understand it, there's no real unique difference between the needs of renewable sources and oil and gas development when you're coming to surveying the shore or the ocean bottom. Is that correct?
Again, I'm not an expert on hydroacoustics. There may be some differences in the sound, the acoustic signal between seismic for oil and gas versus seismic for siting a wind facility, but I think that essentially they're very similar.
Yeah, if you're trying to determine the ocean floor, it doesn't matter what you're surveying the ocean floor, the purpose for, whether it's renewable energy or oil and gas. If you're surveying the floor, it's basically the same technology for either. That's my understanding. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, my understanding is they're very similar. Some may be shooting for a deeper signal in the case of oil and gas, for example, than siting a wind turbine, which may not have to go down as deep to know what you want to know. But
so we should be able to pursue all of the above safely, is my point.
I believe we can, and I don't believe our agency has ever denied an application for that type of activity.
Okay, thank you. I yield back.